come across that no investable businesses in Africa, that people have got lots of money to spend on climate change, but they can't find people to invest in. Our job is to prove them wrong, to make sure that we businesses that have clear plans, who can make a difference, and that we engage them and connect them to the people who have the money. As Genesis, we've been working across, I think we've worked across 50 countries in Africa. We have extensive experience both on the people who use money, like the people on this call, as well as the people who supply the funds across different financial institutions. And we are funded on this program and joined on the call by colleagues from the United Nations Development Program and the PISTA program. And if Zane has joined, I think he would like to say a few words. Rohith, are you introducing from the UN side?
We cannot hear you, Rohith.
I can't hear Rohith either.
It might be a mic issue because he was unmuted.
Okay. Right, well, let him sort those things out. Let's talk a little bit about the agenda for this afternoon. So I've already made some introductions to our program, and David is going to tell us all a lot more about the details and introduce the digital access toolkits and how we intend to engage with all of you going forward. So I think that's probably enough from my side. David, over to you.
Great, thank you. Ursula, next slide, please. Oh, I can do it. Okay. Rohith, check in. Are you able to unmute and to share the details with us? Okay. In the absence of Rohith, I'll cover this one. So our process is going from December of last year until around this time next year, and it has 5 different distinct steps. 1, we find you. We've done that. 2, we're in the process presently of assessing and strengthening. Then we are soon to be connecting you and providing you with tools. Then you keep the tools. You will gain at the end of this program a more clear investment case, some practical tools, which we'll be introducing you to shortly, some real introductions to investors, and as I mentioned in prior sessions, this is no cost to you. We see the context of our program as providing tools, templates, calculators, and high-value warm introductions to investors to help you access financing or funding. We stand on the shoulders of good work already being done in other incubators and accelerators across the continent and across the world. And that's kind of where we're at today. We're not trying to replace, we're trying to add on and provide valuable resources. So the principles of our program, we recognize that your time is valuable. We hope you respect that our time is also valuable. And we feel that the best and highest value of your time is for you to focus on your market, your customers, and your products or service. Anything that we can do to make that a higher allocation of your time, the better we can. We focus on providing tools, resources, warm introductions to funders. And we're focusing on the highest likelihood of success, things that we think will be the easiest path to funding for you. And who are the most likely parties to do that. And then, of course, we like to see and hear that you guys are successful. And we feel as though that sharing your successes with us can also help us to promote your stories, which we hope will enhance your the awareness of your products and services to your customers, as well as prepare you for future funding. Once this program is completed. We can't be all things for all people at all times, and so we will help you if you help us, and we will see that exceptionally exceptional entrepreneurs will receive exceptional support. So here are some of the types of funding that we're going to be focusing on: supplier and trade credit, grants, subsidies, bank loans, credit lines, asset financing, and leasing. We will, to some extent, be looking at impact investment and venture capital or angel funding, private equity, informal savings group, personal family savings, perhaps a bit lower percentage likelihood of success. And so if we see that Rohit is having some challenges with his audio, so I'll read what he shared. UNDP is excited to partner with Genesis on this initiative and look forward to engaging deeper with SMEs across 6 countries, advance on investment readiness and mobilizing capital. We'll remain on the call to answer any questions. And we thank you for joining. And we encourage our SMEs and other members of the organizations on the call to first, if the questions come up, then please type your questions into the chat. And then towards the end of the session, we will take those questions and see to what extent we can answer them. And then also we'll open it up the floor to additional questions. Great. All right. Thank you for this, and thank you, our attendees. So what is our digital access to finance toolkit? It's 110 different guides, tools, calculators. You can see there is a guide to that at bit.ly.sme-diagnostic, which is also, I'm going to put something else in the chat window that gives you kind of the toolkit. There's an AI-enabled chat bot. It's fluent in 17 language. It's private and secure, meaning we do not have the technical capabilities or the means to record your information. So everything is personal and confidential. You still are sharing information with Google when you access the toolkit, but not with us. So it's the same permissions as with Gmail, for example. It is free and unlimited. There's no cost to you, and all you need is a Gmail account. So let's dive into it. Let me start sharing some videos with you of what our toolkit looks like. And so this should hopefully start playing in a moment. Okay, hold on a second. Do you see, I think you see a different one. So why don't I do a share like this? Okay. So to avoid the issues with a demo of a piece of software that always happens, I thought it'd be better and easier to share a video or a few videos of our screen to show you how our digital access to finance toolkit works. So here is the introduction to our toolkit components. So you will have received an email with an attachment, but also there is also links to a Google Doc that interprets your diagnostic survey results. So thank you for completing your diagnostic. We asked you questions. They hopefully took you only about 15 minutes, and you received this as an attachment in PDF form, and it contains a bunch of links to it. And this is kind of like your guide, your kind of intro to our program. As you can see, there are 110 different tools and templates, and that is here. So a Google Drive directory, and you will see that right now we have 113 different tools, templates, calculators, and so forth. In addition, we have our digital guide. Our digital guide speaks 17 different languages. So some of the languages you might have spoken when you were growing up, or speak more commonly and more freely, are available to speak directly, ask questions, and receive responses in our chatbot. Sorry. It does require that you have a Gmail account to access the toolkit, or to access it. And if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to email us So here's the overview of the chatbot, and I'm going to scroll to the top. It's going to take a little while, but you can see that there's been a lot of work already. And you can ask the chatbot to produce work inside of tables or bullet points. And there's a lot of information that can be relevant. So as you can see, it's investment readiness, focusing on small and medium-sized businesses, providing localized insight, both strategic frameworks, tax regularity, and hopefully gives you a structured roadmap to improve your business. So let me take you to the next short video. Can you guys see my screen? I think so. I think I need to close this one. And I need to share the next one. Okay, so here is our interpretation of your diagnostic survey results. And we asked you a bunch of questions, and here's some different answers for each of them. Each of them has different questions and answers, basically saying if you increase your revenue, that's a good thing. And then in our directory, we have 5 or more different tools, whether that's templates, whether that's guides, whether that's calculators. And then we also have a series of questions for each question that you could perhaps use to enhance your understanding or your means of improving your revenue. So let's go and copy and see how we can implement one of those questions. So we just asked the chatbot, what tools and resources can I use to grow my revenue? And it gives you a wide variety of different tools. So sales playbook, there's a WhatsApp specialized commerce kit, there's details on your competitors and competitive positioning, and then there's some details per each company, or sorry, per each country. So let's go and see what does the sales playbook look like. So we go and we copy sales playbook, then we go into our directory of files, and then there you go, look at it. So we can see that there's a sales playbook. So let's open that up and see what it looks like. All right, so here's the sales playbook, and the goal is to help increase sales. And here's the different steps of the sales process. Here's some key questions at each step of the process. And also to enable you to not only use the toolkit yourself, but also to share it with your teammates, perhaps your director of sales or your sales team. You also can download and share each of the 113 different tools that we offer. Okay, so let's go to the next demo. Okay, should be on screen. Great. All right, so now one of the key details that everyone needs to access financing is creating different financial statements and projections. So let's ask what's available in our toolkit to be able to help you do that. And so, as you can see, there's different management account templates, financial reconciliation, and audit-ready worksheets, and others. And so, what we do is we can go and look in our directory and see that we have a lot of financial reporting templates. Let's open up one of them. Great. Okay, so it shows you that there's different, and you also can save this and download it and share with your team. But before we close that, there are some different things like cost of goods sold, operating expenses, revenue. Let's find out what each of these terms mean as to use an example. So we ask, how does a person calculate cost of goods sold? What's included, what's not included? And we can ask our chatbot, and we wait for a second, and it comes up with an answer. Okay, wow, that's helpful. I can ask any question that I want to our chatbot, and in most cases, you'll find an answer. If you don't see an answer to a question that you have, please don't hesitate to email us. But all of these questions that you would likely have in completing the forms for bank lending would likely be there for you. And we're looking forward to answering additional questions as they come up. All right, let's go to our next one. Let's start at the beginning. All right, so now we saw that from our surveys that many of you have different loans at different banks. And there are interesting programs that we have access to and we've been researching that are providing favorable terms to SMEs. So some of those terms could be improved collateral usage, there could be nicer interest rates, it could be longer tenors or longer durations. And we're using Kenya as an example to show you some of the localization components. So we asked, what is needed to apply for a bank loan with SME favorable terms in Kenya? And we get the answer. And here are some of the different programs that you can see that are active. So KCB has a program, National Bank of Kenya and CBA and Stanbic also have different programs. And each of the countries that you are all operating in have different programs, different banks, different lenders, different grant programs, and you can query the chatbot to find out what's the latest and greatest relevant for your country and your business. So now, it's going to progress in the video a little bit, and we're going to ask some other questions. Here's a checklist of what banks are typically looking for. So you'll see there's a tool in the toolbox that highlights, one of the programs, EIB sponsoring with Kenya Family Bank, and you can see in the general program summary, it asks for a lot of different things. And in a moment, you'll see all of the different things that are being asked for in one program with KCB. So as you can see, they're going to be asking you for a loan form, a certificate of incorporation, your memorandum and articles of incorporation, your relevant business licenses, your tax ID, your tax clearance, and a tax clearance certificate, and the national IDs of the owners. But some of these might be challenging to come up with. So one of the questions we anticipated people might have is, how can an SME get a tax clearance certificate? So you can go back to our chatbot and you can ask, how do you get a tax clearance certificate in Kenya? And here's the answer. So you have to, here are the different steps to get it. Here are the websites where you can go to get it. Here's how long they're valid for, and why it's critical, why it's important. But one of the biggest challenges that SMEs face is they may be in arrears with the tax man. And so here is our chatbot, as you can see. Let me just go back real quick. It provides you some additional guides or resources or suggestions on what you can ask next. So you can just click, how do I apply for a tax payment plan? And it'll run the query on our chatbot. And so basically, here's how you do it. You basically make an application to the tax authority in Kenya, and hopefully they respond well to you. All right. So now let me go to another feature of our program. Okay, so I hope you can see, using another country and another example. My business imports and distributes solar products in Senegal. What concessional funding, grants, or other types of programs might be available for me to help improve my access to capital? Please give me 5 recommendations. Yeah, thanks for a little while. And here's what you need to apply for different support programs and some recommendations on what you do. Now I want to show you some of the different language capabilities. So we're speaking in English today, but not everyone has English as their primary preferred language. So please explain the suggestions for a commingling in French, because perhaps French is my preferred language. It also can be Swahili. It also can be all of the other languages that we mentioned. So here's the responses in French. And we're also going to have it share some details in another language. All right, 5 things to know about applying for financing for solar businesses in Kiswahili. And here are 5 different things. And then as you can see, there's a program with GSMA that's open for businesses in Kenya that you can also potentially learn on how to apply for. In regards to our different grant programs and other kind of time-sensitive programs, we update that every month, and so we just updated that yesterday. So in summary, our program enables you to have access to 113 tools. We're continuing to update that. It has an AI chatbot that you can speak to, ask any questions, and in terms of our next steps, we encourage you to engage with our tools and our chatbot as much as you possibly can to prepare for financing and funding. We will be asking you soon some deeper questions and some different surveys in the upcoming days. We will be analyzing what you've given us and analyzing where there's opportunities to match you with different investors and funders. After that, we will be providing tailored support where relevant. So if there is a high degree of interest or appetite in a particular topic area, we will create a specialized content for that to help you and to help others. We will also be looking forward to making warm introductions to pre-vetted investors, lenders, and financial providers. After we make the introduction, the relationship and the development is largely up to you. We are there to help you with follow-ups and support. We're there to answer questions you might have. We're on your side, and we're on the side of getting you funded. So if that involves helping you with negotiations or understanding key terms, we will help you with that on a case-by-case basis. And then we would love to celebrate your success. So we would love to hear from you and to understand what your successes have been in accessing funding, and see if we can position and highlight some of your successes in a way that makes sense for you, with the goal of increasing your customer awareness as well as preparing you for future funding. So all we ask is really information on your successes. We're going to have some impact metrics that we'll also be tracking, and that's part of the success that we see. So now the remainder of our time is for questions and answers. And I want to see first if there's any questions into the chat window. I see that many of you have done a great job at sharing your details. I see Joshua, you have your hand raised. Maybe perhaps unmute yourself.
Okay. Nice presentation, David. I'm Joshua, and I represent Clover Veritas Energy, and I have 2 questions. So permit me if I can share that question. I'm based in the UK. I did sustainability in the University of Edinburgh, and I got a section of companies from the European market, and we are into renewable energy across Ghana, and we're trying to do that across West Africa. What we are currently looking for from this program is equity financing, if it's possible, because we have already got the market. We have parastatal companies coming in for what we have in terms of they want to shift from the main electric grid in Ghana to taking our, what do you call it, solar panels and all other products that we offer. And so I want to find out if we are looking at a very strategic partnership with your firm to be able to access equity financing or any other type of financing. Is there any possibility for us to be able to kind of get that access to equity financing, since we've already done everything that we're supposed to do in terms of the job market, in terms of suppliers, in terms of everything that we're supposed to do? I'm currently based in the UK and the team is back in Ghana. Two, when you come in to look at a company and you realize that, okay, the company is requesting for equity financing, would you and you realize, okay, equity financing is not the main thing to go, would you give them an alternative financing for the company? And how would you take them through the process? Thank you.
Great. That was your first question. Was there a second question? Or does that cover both of it?
Yeah, the first question is already about equity financing. And the second one is equity financing. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So we're happy to hear that you're in Ghana and in the renewables. So that sounds like you're very much within scope for our support. We're also happy to hear that you are looking at expanding into West Africa. We're also active in Senegal. And so that would be another area that potentially could be interesting for us to help you support. Equity is a little bit tougher than other forms of financing. Have you completed our diagnostic survey? Joshua? Okay. I'll just talk through it. So the first step would be to complete our diagnostic survey and to use our toolkit to prepare for whatever funding makes sense for your business. So where possible, we will see if there are opportunities for equity financing, but we do want to set expectations that the likelihood is relatively low, right? A lot of more things need to be aligned for people to want to come in on the equity side. Debt is a lot more prevalent. It's a lot more accessible. There are a lot of, let's say, persistent institutions that are available for debt. There's many more flavors of debt. That said, if there's opportunity to help companies, we will do our best. But we want to set expectations that equity is harder just based upon the nature of the different types of businesses and the investors.
Okay.
I hope that answers your questions. So in essence, the next steps for you, if you're only focused on equity, is interact with our toolkit, wait for our matching and our summary, and then where we ask for additional surveys or additional details, please complete them in a timely manner, usually within a few days, hopefully.
All right.
So I hope that answers your question.
Sure.
I see Mwai Malindi, you have your hand up. Do you want to unmute?
Yes,
and, ask your
thank you
question?
so much. Mwai Malindi, Gomera Seeds Investments, Malawi. We produce and supply certified maize and legume seed varieties, specializing in drought-tolerant, nutrient-dense, and high-yielding seeds. We have a big opportunity on our hand, an opportunity to expand operation and an ambition to expand regionally. And so my inquiries are around trade financing. I think I might have seen on the chart, but I'm very interested in knowing if that's possible, given our Forex issues and exportation limitations by way of volumes, export quantities required, to some extent, food safety issues, and phytosanitary issues. So I was interested in knowing about some of the support there, and then also on let's see. Oh yes, and then also on market access. So both within country as per organization, and then also regionally. How can that be facilitated? I guess both are also facilitation issues in nature. I think a little bit of information can go a long way, is my viewpoint, or ours as an organization. So in your capacity, how can those flows be coordinated so that we can have a robust system? Thank you.
Great, thank you. So yeah, Moy, as you see on the current screen, we have supplier and trade credit. It sounds like you're doing important distribution. So yeah, we see a high likelihood of success in opportunities for improving trade credit and trade finance. So and we have a special team member, our country lead from Malawi is active and doing a great job on our program. We're well aware of some of the foreign currency challenges specifically to Malawi. And so if we encourage you to complete all of our surveys, when we ask you questions, we kindly ask you to respond quickly, respond with as much information as possible, and we'll help you as much as we can. Our program is focusing on the financing side of things. And so that's where we engage most. That's where we spend most of our time and resources. And in regards to the trade and market access, it's not really our area of focus. That said, we have trained the chatbot to answer different questions about how do you partner, how do you find partners, how do you increase your market access, how do you find new customers, how do you find distributors, and as well as maybe about 20 or 30 tools on increasing your sales and market access. So we won't necessarily be doing that part of the facilitation work, but we hope that we have provided you valuable tools that you can do yourself and to help grow your business in concert with accessing financing. So I hope that answers your question. Kiari, over to you.
Thank you, David. I'm Mwangi Kiari from Kenya. So we are building a decentralized logistics digital platform for SMEs. So we enable SMEs to sell their products online, and we handle the logistics to the SME to the customer. And we are asset light. The essence that we are not building warehouses. The existing SME infrastructure, we treat them as ready-made warehouses. So we are really asset light. So on the screen that you've displayed, things like asset financing is out of the scope for us. So we are looking at either equity funding, debt funding, or grant funding, because I can say we are more of a startup than more of an SME. So is this something that you are working with?
Yep. Yeah, as you can see, it sounds like you may be benefiting from working capital, which I think we have, I would put into formal bank loan or credit line. And so I think there's a reasonably high likelihood of success for that, assuming that you do your part in presenting yourself well and have openness and diligence when we, if and when we are able to introduce you to investors, and for when we do that. I would also encourage you, it sounds like your service is one that could benefit from connecting with other SMEs. So a lot of people put up their contact details, and I encourage you to share your yours with others, I'm sure that logistics and distribution is an important part of different parties and their needs. Great. Thank you, Kiari. Over to the team from Lidsam. Lidsam team, go ahead. Can you please unmute?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. At Lidsam, the other time I sent an email concerning or explaining what we do. And now, according to how Mr. David have explained, I understand that I'm looking for the working capital and the working equipment for extraction of avocado oils. So my request is to know if it is okay to get because I'm not comfortable working with the bank because banks will finally ask for the collateral that I may not be having. So my request was to understand, because I'm doing herbs for export and I have clients who are already waiting for the herbs. But for on my side, I don't have the capacity to supply the herbs required or to supply them to supply the avocado that my clients in China want me to supply. They're asking about so many containers. So my question is, how do I go about this so that I can identify, or you can help me to identify investors who can match with my business, and so that I can be able also to get the equipment for doing avocado oil and export to Europe, as that is where my customer is. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. So there's two challenges and two opportunities in there. One is very common amongst SMEs in the region, which is limited collateral. The banks all require a very high degree of collateral. And so we have identified a few different programs in each of our different countries that may reduce the collateral requirements. So whereas there may be typical collateral requirements of 125% of the loan amount, we have identified a few banks that are open to programs that only require collateral of about 50% or 60% of the loan amount. So that's one. The second is if you were to have a good relationship with your buyer and they were to give you a letter of credit, that also could be used to unlock financing so that you could buy the avocados from the farmers, process them, and then sell them to your client, and then repay the loan from the proceeds that have already been approved. So we have some resources in our chatbot that can help walk you through that, and I think we will likely have a session on additional details on that as well. So please do engage with our Access to Finance Toolkit and the resources that we've provided. And then also, as new content comes up, new questions, new surveys do come up, please answer them quickly and fully so that we can help you. So thank you. Next question from Far Store team.
Yeah. My name is Diane Abdurazak. I'm from Ghana. Farm Store, what basically we do is that we provide a data-driven platform that connects rural agro retailers to verified input suppliers. That is solving unreliable supply chains and frequent stockouts that limits smallholder farmers' productivity. So my question here is that our main challenge is we are looking at positioning ourselves very well that can attract angel investors. And with regards to the diagnostic form, I have filled it already. You were mentioning of your toolkit. I have not had access to the toolkit yet. So that is what I want to know. How do we get access to the toolkit so that we can position ourselves to attract angel investors?
Sure. So let me just put into the chat window a link. So the first video that I shared that goes through kind of our guide on how to engage with our toolkit is within that link. So if you go to bit.ly/diagnostic survey results, you'll get access to a Google Doc, and then from there will be links for you to access the 113 different tools and templates, as well as to access our chatbot, and then suggestions of what you can ask the chatbot on each of the different components. As you can see on our current slide, angel investment's a relatively low percentage chance of success.
Yeah.
And so if you are providing logistical support and others, there may be perhaps more opportunities for you to establish some type of trade finance or credit. Since you're working with smallholder farmers, there may be opportunities to apply for grants and or subsidies or competitions or award programs. We encourage you to ask the questions of what's available for you given your business to our chatbot. And then if there are other questions that you have, we'll be asking continual surveys to try and find where is the best opportunity to help grow your business with financing.
Sure. Thank you.
So we have a question from Ali Nafe.
Thank you very much. Marinafe Velemo from Malawi. I'm the founder and CEO of Green Innovation Center. My question is that do you have like investors who can just join as a share so they can have an ownership of the maybe a company or organization? Do you have that kind of investors that you're working with? And also mine is a business that I have just started, but it is fully registered. Yeah, it is known, and also it is already awarded as an enterprise that provide important services in Malawi. So yeah, I just want to know if you also support such kind of startups. Yeah, I think you can just ask on what I have asked. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So starting businesses are really, really tough. All of the other members of that are on the call that have experienced that have gone through that. So I encourage you to connect with other resources and to see where there are opportunities for collaborations and learning. I also encourage you to take a look at the tools and resources that we have. We have a list of over 400 investors that we are in communication with or are aware of. And our job is to identify where the opportunities are for SMEs, what their needs are, where the investors have an interest, and then put them together and then help to ensure that that's a successful match. For new businesses, I would also encourage you to look at our grant and subsidy and other programs, and to explore some of the SME lending programs at your banks that exist in your countries. It's not easy, but if it was easy, it would be done already. And people who are able to make it through the challenging parts of starting a business typically are rewarded with a great deal of freedom and success in the rest of their lives. So thank you. Moai, I've got another question. Over to you.
Yes, thank you, David. My question is short. May I have a copy of? Could it be possible for a copy of the presentation to be made available? I think I missed some of the first minutes of the session, so yeah, I'll very be keen and much appreciated if it could be possible to share the slides. Thank you.
Yep, sure, no problem. So whenever we run a session, afterwards all the participants will receive an email from Ursula or from our official email address that will say, here's the presentation, here's the recording, and then here's the access to the tools that we have that are relevant. And then they will be all recorded on the Genesis website. And then we also likely kind of put up kind of all the things that we've created so that people can access them on their own time, in their own resource, in their own way. And so, yeah, everything will be shared. Great. Are there any questions that I might have missed on the chat bot? Wash King in Ghana, looking to raise repayable debt or blended finance. Yes, we definitely explore and work with blended finance and repayable debt. When we facilitate finance or investor linkages, what's in it for us? Do you pay any service fees, success fees, or other charges? So thankfully, we are supported by the good works and good nature of the United Nations Development Program that cover all of our fees. Neither us nor financiers, no funders will receive or will be required to pay us. All we ask is that when you are successful in accessing financing or funding, you inform us, and you are welcome to inform us with how much you received or what type of funding you received. But realistically, it's your success is what we want to see. Ideally, what we're trying to do is we're trying to prove that it is possible to finance and fund green SMEs in some challenging places, and that the methods of doing so are achievable. And so that's what we're trying to prove. We're trying to prove that this program and way of doing things, it is something that actually makes an impact. And so we're a third generation program of our type. And so we hope that things work out, and we only know that things work out when you share it with us. So we would ideally love to track the different metrics of your success and celebrate your successes as part of our program. Are there any other questions? All right. Rohit, are you able to, has your mic started working again? Maybe anything else to comment? I was told also that we might have some other people from UNDP that might have functioning audio visual, so you're welcome to jump in, maybe raise your hand or to comment directly. Okay, maybe Richard, do you want to close our session, or I'm happy to kind of wish us all well and basically prepare people to hear from us in the upcoming days.
Sure, you'll be hearing from us, from me, sorry.
Fantastic. Thank you all, and I appreciate the time and your attention. If you have any questions, then please don't hesitate to. So Rohit is sharing a thank you for the productive description. Ursula is saying she's going to share the recording and notes. And if you have other questions or ideas or comments or suggestions, we welcome you to do that via preferably our email address, SMEinvestment@genesis-analytics.com. All right, so with that, I'll call this session to a close. We thank UNDP, we thank the SMEs, we thank the Genesis team, and we wish you a great rest of your day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Ross.
Bye.
Bye.